what does it really cost to be an independent artist? When you talk to a lot of independent artists, they're always going to tell you they like the freedom. At the top of their list is the freedom. But when you really get to examine all that you got to do, all that you got to carry, you must ask yourself, so much for freedom, is it really worth it? Independent, of course, doesn't mean that you're going to do it all alone. But it does mean that you're going to carry a lot of the weight. Today's video, we're going to be tackling the cost, the price that independent artists got to pay. Now you get to see why some people just sell their souls. You get to see why some people just give in. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. Especially when you're not getting support, but yet you putting in the bread. You putting in the money. Then you got to deal with your boss from your 9-to-5 job. You got to deal with nagging customers. You got to deal with a whole lot just to be able to get that bread. Then you put it into your craft. And then you're not seeing nothing come out of it. And you probably do that for years and years. Then when you shift out a little bit, you see that there's thousands and thousands and millions of other independent artists that are just as hungry as you are, doing the work too. Then you really, really start to ask yourself, with everything that you've invested, with everything that you done put in, how you gonna get the return on your investment? It's real. It's real. Welcome to ADR Entertainment Academy, ADR Live 365. You already know here we gonna always keep it real. This is not where we gonna sugarcoat. We're not gonna sugarcoat anything. We're gonna say it like it is. We're gonna tackle it. We don't just discuss problems that independent artists face on this platform. We talk problems. We talk about the cause of the problems. Then we get to the solution, right? Because we're not just gonna stay stuck in that victim mentality. We're not just gonna blame the industry. We're not just gonna blame the system. We're gonna analyze it, and then we're gonna see what we can do to better our circumstance. So I'm curious, where are you watching from? Let me know in the comment section. And how long have you been doing music for? And are you seeing a return on your investment yet? Do you feel like in 2026, doing music is worth it? Is it just a hobby? Or are you doing it to really take it serious? Are you trying to make a career out of it? Are you already making a career out of it? Are you touring? What phase are you in right now in your artistic career or on your artistic path? Where are you at? What stage you in? I like to know. And how can I possibly help? Because with me, it's all about making sure that you don't have to make some of the mistakes that I made. But let's get back to the main topic. What is the cost of being independent? Especially in today's world. Like I said, it's not easy. If we're being real, it's not easy. It's not easy. But then again, there is a whole lot to be grateful for when you really look at it. You can easily get access to your own studio equipment. You can easily get access to mixtape covers, CD covers. It's so much more easier now to get certain things done. But is the rawness, the realness of your creativity still there? Or are you just looking to pump out a lot of material because you already know that there's a whole lot of artists out there? Is quality still at the forefront of your mind? But then, like we discussed in the first video, quality does not always equate to discovery. So there are steps, there are processes. Are we patient enough to go through the processes? The cost of being independent. We're talking about the money now, because you know we got to talk about the money. We got to talk about the money because a lot of independent artists like the freedom. Yeah. We like to be able to create on our own terms when we want to. We want to be able to stay true to our own creativity without having to compromise. If we stay true to ourselves, that in itself is a reward. It's fulfilling. But is that enough? There is so much that goes into being discovered, especially if you're doing it solo. We were talking about visibility in the second episode. And we saw that visibility is not the same as artistic value. You know your value. Now you're working to get visible. But just to get visible is expensive. It's not like you're just going to spend $100 and you blow up. It could happen. Strategy, right? Remember, we were talking about strategy in the first video, how important it is to invest in strategy. Before anything even, you got to have a good strategy. You got to have a career plan. You got to project into 5 years. And then if you want to take it further, you got to project into 10 years. But you got to have strategy. But all of that costs money. The money factor is heavy. It's important. But then if you don't invest in strategy when you're starting off, before you get to realize it, 2 years then pass by, 3 years then pass by, 5 years then pass by. You're still going to the studio though. You're still paying for studio time. You're still paying for good mixing and mastering. Right? You're still paying for your online ads. Still paying for your music videos. But then that's not really getting you what you want. So you start to wonder if you're ever gonna get a return on your investment. Because a lot of people would tell you, well, in the music industry, you got to put in the time. You got to put in the time. But then you're looking at it like you're investing in your product. You're taking it to the market, and it's just sitting out there in the market. And other artists are also bringing their product and dropping it at the market as well too. What are the chances of your product really getting seen by potential customers, and not just being seen, because being seen is one thing, and then being moved to spend is another. If your product is on Spotify, what does Spotify pay per listen? Or is it per 1,000 listens, 1,000 clicks? You get to look into all of that, then you ask yourself, is it really worth it? So when we start talking about being independent, you start saying, okay, well, maybe you're going to want to take this independent route all the way. Maybe you want to start looking into creating your own website. That's right. Maybe maybe you're gonna have some of your songs out there on the Spotify's and, the Apple Musics and all of that, but you're saying, hold on, I want to be able to have a real solid online fan base, support base that I can connect to. But that still requires money. To build the website, it requires money. To promote the website requires money. To get the paraphernalia that you need, that you're going to be able to get to your potential customers, that requires money. So you're seeing that being independent, there is a whole lot that you got to deal with. Now let's talk about the time factor. Time be flying by like a mug these days. Like I said, before you realize it, 2 years then went by, 10 years then went by, and then you start looking, you see you got a whole discography, you got a whole catalog. But then when you're looking at the return of investment, it's not adding up, right? And that's time. You're probably looking at it like, okay, well, maybe if you would have invested in stocks, you probably would have been got your return on investment. If you probably would have been, invested in a piece of land, at least you would have a real raw tangible asset that you could probably set up some business on it. So then you start being honest with yourself, because the reason why I'm doing this, especially if you an upcoming artist, is not to discourage you, but it's to get you to start to think more strategically. As in, if you are going to pursue music, you also got to be real about real life as well. You got to be real about the reality of the nature of the field that you are in, the industry that you're in. So that way you don't put all your eggs in one basket. And then later on, you start wondering. It's a very, very competitive field, and you know that. And so that means that you have to really, really tap into that financial literacy aspect and not play with that. Let some money go into investing in raw assets. Let some money go into investing in the music. Do endeavor to collaborate with those people who understand the importance of reciprocating energy, especially from the beginning. I wish I knew that from the beginning. You're not just collaborating just to collaborate. You collaborate with people who know the importance of reciprocating your energy, because your energy equates to time and money. Your time, you can't go back and get it. So that means that your time management has to be on a whole nother level. When you're working hard and you're saving, rather than always going to the studio, paying for studio time, it's even wiser that you buy your own equipment. Spend $1,000, get you a good home system, get you a good laptop, set it up, learn how to mix right in your own base. And then if you got to send it out, if you got to outsource for somebody to master, you outsource it. But if you want to take it upon yourself to learn how to master, you could do that as well. But like we said from the very jump, being independent doesn't mean you got to do everything alone. Actually, being independent means that you're smart enough to know what needs to be outsourced. You're smart enough to know what you need to let somebody else do while you focus on that which you really need to do, so your creativity stays sharp and you stay consistent. So the cost of independence is not just money. It's time, right? Your mental bandwidth. I mean, think about all that you got to carry in mind. There's so much that you got to juggle, so much that you got to be aware of. It is worth it. It has its advantages, as if you're willing to be disciplined, sharp, focused, grounded. And that is why a lot of independent artists end up having coaches. Yes, they end up having assistants, personal assistants that can really help them when it comes to structuring, organization. So if you are on that path, how are you coping with your time management skills, with your financial literacy, right? Do you have a budget plan in place? Do you have a scheduling system in place? Right? Are you structuring out your thoughts accordingly so you're not carrying all of that? You're trying to remember certain things that you could easily just pen out. With ADR Entertainment Academy, we cover all of that. We cover all of that. So if you on the path and maybe you struggling in some of these areas, reach out to us. ADR Live 365. Fill out the artist discovery questionnaire, or just send us a direct message. We'll get back to you. But I'm curious, what's some of the areas that you're struggling with when it comes to you moving through your career path as an independent artist? Is it financial? Is it you trying to make out time? Is it you trying to build a system for yourself that would allow for you to stay consistent? Whatever the case may be, just know that you could tap in to a source that'll get you to be guided the right way. But let's go ahead and cap it at that. Drop your comments below. Let's talk about it.